Good day and welcome to another edition of Citizens Movement Radio News. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of June 2025. I'm Bernard Stele, ready to bring you the latest news and updates. Here are today's headlines on Citizens Movement Radio News. Zimbabweans living in diaspora ask UK Prime Minister to stop Auxilia Mnangagwa entering United Kingdom. The second coming, citizens warm up for President Chamisa's return. Experts speak on RBZ decision to print more ZIG notes. Now let's delve into the detailed stories. Zimbabweans living in the UK through multi-political and human rights organizations have presented a petition at the UK Prime Minister's offices at 10 Downing Street, demanding the UK prevent Mr. Mnangagwa's wife Auxilia from attending the Flare Summit due to take place on the 18th of June at the Park Hyatt Hotel in London. The Diasporans say Ms. Mnangagwa should not be in the UK since she is part of the gross human rights abuses and corruption taking place in Zimbabwe and one of the individuals on the global Magnitsky sanctions. The opposition has been warming to the expected return of Advocate Nelson Chamisa into active politics following his year-long sabbatical. Citizens Movement Radio took a survey to hear people's views about President Chamisa's expected return. Most citizens we interviewed expressed excitement about President Chamisa's imminent return, with some saying he is the solution to the economic crisis facing Zimbabwe. Let's hear them speaking.
Izvezvi patakamira kuno kumwenezi hatigoni nokufara pakunzwa kumashoko okuti president unotungamidza zvido zvavanhu pamoyo wava kuuya, President Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Changofanana nomwenga waperekwa wangomirira gomba muhozi kuti ape madzitezvara vazukuru. Haachahwisisi kuti obata papi nokuti pose pongopisa, kuti abata apa popisa, kuti abata apa popisa. Ndo zvatava isi kuno kumwenezi.
Salibonani ma citizen. Sibonge laphana ngokuza kukamongameli wabantu uPresident Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Njengabahlali siyabonga kakhulu, siyakuthakazelela ukuza kukamongameli wabantu ngemva kokuthatha isinqumo ku-2024 esebona ibandla selithethwe iziganana wachiya. Siyabonga lokho esithembisa ukuthi uzoza ngokushesha. Siyabonga.
Masikati akanaka muri yeZimbabwe, masikati akanaka. Nhasi nemufaro mukuru kusangana neveCitizen Movement Radio vachinzwawo mashoko kubva kwatiri muchiitiko chatasangana nacho chinodai kufadza nyika yeZimbabwe, kuti baba vachamisa vachitaura kuti aiwa ndadzoka kuti basa richibatwa nyika yechimira zvakanaka. Saka sesu vana veZimbabwe tine mufaro mukuru zvisingambobviri nekuda kweshoko raPresident Advocate Nelson Chamisa rekuudza nyika kuti aiwa ndadzoka, basa ratanga. Saka kwese kwamuri kumatima nenyika yona yeZimbabwe tinongokurudzirana kuti aiwa chibatai basa. Vanga vakagara vaya vachiti aiwa hakuna zviriko ndo zvavako, vadzoka mutungamiri wevanhu. Nokuti kana muchiona kudzoka kwavaita chinhu changa chichirongwa nokuti kana chinhu chichirongwa hachingomuki chakanzi mangwana chatonaka chatoibva, ngati pakorepo toyaibva. Aiwa iko zvino ndo pataa kuchienda kunopakura, nokuti mutungamiri adzoka, mutungamiri wevanhu. Nokuti chetinotarisira ndechekuti kana zvatiri kunzwa mashoko evanhu tichifamba vari kuti aiwa matambudziko enyika, kana makanika adzoka kudai nyika yakukanikwa mawirirano neupfumi, mamiriro wakaita upfumi hwenyika, zvipatara hazvina mishonga, magetsi, nyika haina mvura yakachena, haina vana havasi kufunda zvakakwana, zvikoro zviri kuita fanika wakubhadhara ngozi. Aiwa tinoziva kuti zvose izvozvo zvinopedzwa naye makanika wenyika. Advocate Nelson Chamisa ndo basa rawo, ndo basa ratakavapa sevana veZimbabwe kuti aiwa ndimi chiremba wenyika, tinozviziva zvingarema zvingadini, asi chama muchidika baba tinochitenda kuti takuenda kumberi nokuti mumaoko ezano hakuna kungourawa nekuurayirwa nyika yedu, vanhu vachingofa muzvipatara zvinova zvinorwadza. President Advocate Nelson Chamisa ndosaka vadzoka zvine mutsindo tiri kuvatambira, ende vari kutambirwa nenyika yose nepasi rose kuti chiitai basa baba vaChamisa sinzi vadzoka kudai. Vatsigiri venyu vari kutsigirai nyika yose, tiri kutsigirai president wevanhu nekuti ndimi makasarudzwa kuti mutungamire nyika yeZimbabwe. Kana ivo Mwari tinotenderana nazvo kuti vanozvitendera izvozvo, ende vachatibatsira pakubata kwenyu kwose. Tichabata nemi tichiinda zvakanaka kuti nyika yedu idzokedzane. Inoda ruoko rusina ropa, runoda ruoko rwakachena, inoda munhu ane mwoyo wokuziva kuti chinonzi kutungamira chii. Chinonzi kutungamira hakusi kutonga vanhu. Vanhu vanoda kuzotongwa havo zvina Mwari wavo, kwete zvezano zvokutonga vanhu pano pasi. Ivo vatungamiri vezano vacho vachazotonotongwawo kudenga kuna Mwari. Aiwa, tinotenda, tinokugamuchirai Advocate Nelson Chamisa, tinokugamuchirai president wevanhu, tinokugamuchirai president akasarudzwa nevanhu kuti atungamire nyika. Ndatenda.
Chingava chinhu chakanaka chose kuti vaNelson Chamisa vanzi vadzoka muzvematongerwo enyika, ende tingazvigamuchira nemufaro, nekuti zvingatoita kutoti ZANU-PF mubato rayo indenge, nekuti manyanya kuzara vanhu vanoba, vanhu vari kuita uori, zviri kudzosera nyika pasi. Vana veZimbabwe vobva vatambura. Kudzoka kwavaChamisa inenge iri tariro chaiyo yekubatanidza vana veZimbabwe kuti varwire nyika, varwire upfumi hwenyika, varwire kuenderera mberi kwenyika, varwire kubudirira kwenyika. Vana vechidiki vawane mabasa, ende vaChamisa ihope kuvana veZimbabwe.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, RBZ, yesterday announced their plans to print more ZiG notes, including bigger notes of 50 ZiG, 100 and 200. Economist Dr. Edima Hembe said printing of more ZiG is not the solution to the economic meltdown, as it is likely to trigger inflation. He urged the government to dump ZiG and dollarize. Meanwhile, political commentator Jefferson Chitando said the Reserve Bank's reason of introducing the new notes is mind-boggling, given that in southern parts of the country, people are not trading in ZiG currency but South African rand. RBZ said they are introducing new notes to replace worn-out ones. Chitando said by printing more ZiG notes, the government is wasting resources since the currency is not accepted in some parts of the country. Chitando said.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe announced that they are going to be introducing a stronger new ZiG notes to replace worn-out notes. The biggest question is, how did the ZiG notes get worn out when they were not in circulation in some parts of this country? The southern part, we haven't seen ZiG since its introduction. It is the first of its kind that you hear of a dress or a shirt from a factory being told it's worn out, it needs a tailor to be repaired. The ZiG has never been to the people, it has been in the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. And you surprise us that you want to replace worn out notes which have never been in people's hands. It is important for the people of Zimbabwe to understand that any currency to be in circulation, it needs people's confidence. People have got to have faith in that currency. The southern parts of Zimbabwe, it seems as though they have been divorced from the RBZ semantic policies, and they are married to the rand, because the rand is the one which is in circulation, whether it is in the rural areas, it is in the urban, whether talking of shops, combis, wherever, or even the vegetable vendors, they only accept the rand, not the zig. So if the RBZ is going to print stronger currency, it means they are printing it for the people in Harare, not this other side. And also they are using foreign currency. They are using the US dollar to print the money which is not accepted by the people. So it's a mere waste of time and resources which could be used for other important areas like health and education.
Famous supermarket brand Food Lovers Market is closing its branches in Avondale and Borodale on June 22 and July 8 respectively. Since the turn of the year, big brands have been closing, fleeing the Zimbabwean market due to harsh economic conditions, taxes and the unstable ZiG currency. There are fears among citizens that the country is sliding towards 2008 economic collapse under Emerson Mnangagwa's administration. Opposition official and former MP for Pilanda Bachabalala, Gift Siziba, said one of the biggest achievements of opposition led by President Nelson Chamisa was igniting passion for politics in young people. Speaking in an interview with veteran journalist Trevor Ncube, Siziba said they managed to create an intergenerational consensus for change. Let's hear him speak.
What in your view have been the biggest victory so far that you have scored?
I think that our biggest victory is to allow young people to participate in the politics of our country. When President Tsvangirai passed away, may he so rest in power, we were some of the people who were very publicly supporting the emergency of a generation of younger people, so that we motivate our colleagues in universities to understand that the fight has to go beyond bones and soup in colleges to the political questions of the day. So I think that our biggest victory was to allow young people to see the need for them to contribute in the politics. Fundamentally in 2018 and up to 2023, I think young people began to be interested in the politics of our country. The 2023 outcome showed that the coming in of younger people in parliament, in local government, I think to some extent we contributed to that, interest in young people to participate, because most people think that politics is dirty, it's for older people. So that intergenerational mix, that how do we harvest from your wisdom and knowledge in the trenches, Trevor, into the next generation. So instead of being two separate generations, how do we bring intergenerational conversation so that we take from what we have done as a generation and advance it forward and correct what has not been done correctly. So for me, I think that has been the biggest victory in terms of...
2 years after general elections, opposition MP for Kariba, Honorable Shine Gwangwaba, is walking the talk on his electoral promises. Honorable Gwangwaba said he's facilitating developmental projects in his constituency, working with community leaders. Let's hear Honorable Gwangwaba speaking.
As a member of parliament, since my inauguration, I've managed to try and present some issues at parliament. Some of the issues, such as the network issue, we are working on it. Some network towers have been erected, even though some of them had not reached the completion level. Some clinics are being built in some parts of Kariba rural area. We also want to thank ZESA through RIA for electrifying some rural parts of Kariba. But it is my wish for the marginalized community to receive electricity from hydropower station in Kariba rather than receiving the thermal powered one. I'm also advocating for the maintenance of roads, even though it takes time for Parliament to approve some of the projects. As we speak, we have an issue of human-wildlife conflict. A lot of people have been trampled down by elephants, some killed by crocodiles. But I will keep on fighting, trying to advocate for for the betterment of the people of Nyaminyami. People of Nyaminyami, of course, they've got a lot of issues that they think they are being shortchanged since 1980. But as a member of parliament, I will continue to fight for the rights of the youth to get opportunities in colleges, 50-50 equality between men and women. I want to assure the people of Kariba, if we work together, we achieve, and united we stand, divided we fall.
A publisher of the Mirror newspaper, Matthew Takaona, who was arrested yesterday for cutting grass in Gutu, was released late on the day without a charge. The Mirror provided further details that Takaona was arrested for not informing local councillor about his intention to cut grass on the road. Takaona was also reportedly harassed by CIO operatives who arrested him. The Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission ZHRC has uncovered severe rights violations at Harare Remand Prison, including overcrowded cells, denial of health care and mistreatment of detainees. The inspection followed public concern over the previous detention of journalist Blessed Mhlanga and others linked to politics. The commission found some inmates were blocked from sitting university exams, and many have faced prolonged detention without trial, raising constitutional concerns. The ZHRC also highlighted inmates' reports of abuse by arresting officers and a broken telephone system preventing family contact. The city of Bulawayo has banned heavy vehicles weighing over 9 tons from entering the CBD. In a notice issued on Monday, 2 June, the local authority also outlined designated alternative routes for trucks traveling to and from Harare, Victoria Falls, Plumtree, Gwanda, and the Belmont industrial area. Prosper Vanvaone, who posed as a medical doctor at Mpilo Central Hospital and UBH, has been convicted of 3 counts of fraud and 1 of impersonation. The Bulawayo Magistrates Court delivered the verdict on 3 June, with sentencing set for 4 June by Magistrate Eva Matura. In his plea for leniency, Vanvaone expressed regret, citing peer pressure and a desire to complete his medical studies legitimately. Residents of Chitungwiza have expressed disappointment over the municipality's failure to effectively deal with raw sewer flowing in streets. Some of the citizens said there is lack of will from authorities to address the problem. The population of Chitungwiza has since bulged and the sewer pipes have become obsolete, and births are frequent in most areas. South African opposition Mkonto Party MK yesterday announced the removal of Floyd Chivambu as its Secretary General, accusing him of contravening party policy after his recent visit to Malawi. Chivambu attended a church service of Shepherd Bushiri's Jesus Nation Church. Bushiri is wanted in South Africa for criminal charges involving fraud. Now let's take a look at our sports news. Warriors coach Michael Nice has been forced to make some changes to his squad for friendly matches against Burkina Faso and Niger to be played on 6 and 10 June. SuperSport United forward Terence Zukamanje has been drafted into the squad to replace Prince Dube, who is injured. Highlanders midfielder Mason Mshore was also included into the team in place of the injured Richard Achiro of Ngezi Platinum. To conclude our Citizens Movement Radio News, here are the headlines once more. Zimbabweans living in diaspora ask UK Prime Minister to stop Auxilia Mnangagwa entering UK. The second coming citizens warm up for President Chamisa's return. Experts speak on RBZ decision to print more ZIG notes. The news on CMR English. I'm Bernard Chele. Me and the whole crew. Meet me again in another news bulletin. Have a pleasant evening.